Let's see. Give me more time here.
Adjectives.
Oh, gosh.
There's a lot of words.
Righteous.
A father figure.
Loyal.
Authentic.
Big dreamer.
He was down to earth.
The most selfless person I ever knew.
Disciplined.
He's a soldier.
Funny.
He was quirky. He had a love for comedy.
Almost understated sense of humor.
A character.
Spitfire.
Somewhat sarcastic.
The tooth-fairy pastor.
You know, he was our leader.
I think Dr. Sullivan was that kind of guy, that it was not afraid to dream big.
Just always having ideas.
When John got on a topic, he was relentless.
Because when he went after something, you know, it was done.
He would see what we can become.
I would think Dr. Sullivan was very welcoming to anyone he met.
And courageous.
Well, I thought he was really cute, but I also decided I never wanted to get serious with him because he was never going to make anything of himself in life. First of all, he was in college. We were in college together, but he never studied. So that was one reason. And then he was just always kind of easygoing, you know, and I thought you had to be more under steam to accomplish things, I guess.
John was being groomed to be the youngest president of the Chicago Dental Society, which was one of the most powerful dental societies in the country. And then his brother-in-law, of course, gets saved. Barb gets saved, which was, I think, a big surprise to John.
He started going to the meetings with me just to check out what I was into. And then, of course, he gave his life to Christ. And, of course, he was working full-time. As he started getting more involved with the church, it was, I don't know, he could do it.
The fact that he wouldn't take a salary from the church, and his words would be, he says, well, everybody's going to be involved. I'm going to be involved. You're going to be involved. And I'm going to work, and you're going to work.
You know, as a pastor of the church, he wasn't a theologian. His Bible theology and teachings could wander. But, you know, I really think the call of Jesus, the command of Jesus is so simple. And he embraced that, and he never made it complicated.
He would take the lead in serving, and he would be on his hands and knees washing stairs at the store or doing whatever it was that needed to be done around the church.
I heard lots of sermons about what God's love meant, but Dr. Sullivan, I think, was the first person that I encountered in my life where I experienced the love of Christ, like, through him.
John was he was always so supportive of me personally, and I just really appreciated that. He, you know, it was clear to me that he cared about me and cared what happened to me, and so that was just really special.
I miss a lot, just calling him and saying, hey, you got time for lunch this week? And going over to Blueberry Field and just sitting down and just kind of spend an hour in his presence.
He would take the down and outer, and he would sit with them. He won't see any of the bad things that is going on in his life. He always saw the potential in a person.
I was renting a house. He asked me, would I like to own that house? And I said, oh, sure, I would like to own it. November of 2000, 2003, one of the Tap the House banquets is when they had presented me and my family the deed to that house, and it just really touched my heart.
And along the way, it was just a natural progression that he would also become a civil servant, because he was good at politics.
You know, and he was elected as a trustee in our town.
From my perspective, especially in the village, he was very much ever present whenever somebody needed him.
He absolutely loved being a village trustee, and his favorite part was his badge, because he got to have his badge as a village trustee.
And one time he misplaced it or lost it, and he came to me. I was like, "You have to get me another badge." I go, "Oh, I'll get you one, don't worry."
My mother and I would be out with him, and if there was an accident where there was, you know, you can't drive past, his favorite thing was to pull out his badge and drive past, because it sort of fulfilled that police officer fantasy.
My primary mental picture of him is this, just this big smile plastered, on his face, and he just loved life and loved to have fun.
He had quite a sense of humor, though. He really did.
Who but John could get away with saying something like, "Why ruin Sundays by going to church?"
Some of the stories that I remember, we would always do these skits, and we would have our script, and somehow he would always get off the script.
It was humorous watching him try to act and be funny.
Oh, his fashion. Oh, well, that was a cause for embarrassment when we were kids.
How about the cargo pants? The beige cargo pants with all the pockets in them.
Well, when he was a dentist, he didn't like the dental smocks they had. He said he looked dorky in them or something. And so, but he wanted to look like a dentist, and so he got the idea of wearing Hawaiian shirts.
I think he had some white pants. My mom called him the good humor man. Yes, my dad did not care about material things, and it was evident in the way he dressed.
He didn't fret over that, which I think was really cool. It was that he was who he was. He didn't want to appear to be something that he wasn't.
Oh, yes, he loved the floats. Yeah, you were about going to hell if you didn't want to volunteer to do those floats.
And one of my favorite pictures is John walking the parade and waving at the crowd.
You know, he'd start a couple months ahead. Okay, what's our float going to be? I mean, that was a part of his life, too.
You know, he loved riding in his little car, and then he would ride up till he got past the judging station, then walk back so he could catch the fellowship float and be in with that, too.
One of our other trustees would announce who the winners were, and it was always Spirit of God, first place. And John was he was so proud in a good way, and it was just really funny.
Well, of course, we're sitting in Restoration Ministries, and his heart was for the addict.
He was very different when it came to ministry, because he would minister to people that no one else wanted to minister to.
No, but Restoration Ministries, the Harvey House guys were definitely his true passion. And he would do it 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
If somebody had to be asked to leave because of something, it ate at him. It was not an easy decision. He personally took an interest in everybody that was here.
He wasn't just sitting in his office or sitting far off talking about it. He was sitting with the homeless. He had the drug addicts over his house.
I first met Doc back in 2013. At that time in my life, I was a broken, grown man looking for direction.
He said, I think we should give him a try, And I was impressed. It's like, me, in the spot that I was at the time, feel like I deserved it.
And I don't know, when he said this is what I wanted to do, he didn't know how all of that was going to take place. He didn't know, oh, we were going to get kids programs, we were going to do all this.
He'd come up with an idea. I'm going to give you an example of the boxing club, and I thought, what in the world? And the first time I went to a fight, the neighborhood and the community was out, and I mean, it was beautiful to see.
Dr. Sullivan always had a love for art, any type of art, and it was his idea to start the Gallery of the Arts. It's actually a visual and performing arts center. The children that come, many of them have never taken an art class or a music lesson in their life.
I mean, growing up in Harvey, it is likely for you to be just a product of that. So just by putting this place here, it offered me, my sisters, everybody, an opportunity to be something different than the statistic in Harvey.
If there's something like kind of suspicious going on, like around the neighborhood, pretty much every parent will tell you, if you're not near the house, just go to Harvey House, because it was kind of like a safe spot.
You know, without Tap the House, like, I don't know where she would have went or anything, and you know, I just want to thank him for that, because not everyone like who lives in Harvey gets to have that.
I want to see the ministry continue on, of course. There's more of a need today than back then when we started.
I believe his vision was really God's, and I would not want to see his vision altered or lost.
I don't really know that we're going to understand or see the whole impact of his ministry and who he was until we're in heaven.
How he had the ability to love so many different types of people.
Matthew 25 was his favorite verse about ministering to those that are down and out.
He just took that verse and internalized it in a way that it truly was his life.
The legacy of John Sullivan is the thousands and thousands of people's lives that he impacted.
It spills over into this entire region.
He's given me a lot of wisdom, you know, that I am trying to pass on to my family.
The direction of my career changed because of Dr. Sullivan.
And in many ways, I segment my life as before Dr. Sullivan and after Dr. Sullivan, because I was challenged to see other people in different ways. And I was never the same after that.
Well, I'm getting kind of teary-eyed because it's not easy talking about somebody that you love and you miss.
I was without my father until him. And I remember many times feeling protected.
I think just his desire to see people fulfilling the kingdom of God.
I always hear him talking to me. I always see him smiling.
We offer hope to people who have come in pretty well hopeless. And through the grace and love of Jesus Christ, I mean, we're able to really help people. I don't care what you were yesterday. I'm excited about what you're going to be tomorrow. And just like the Lord forgives us our sins and totally wipes them away, but then we're able to walk as disciples of Jesus Christ. And so that's the kind of message we like to bring to them, and that's my passion, to bring that very simple message. Jesus loves you, and there's such a thing as grace. So